The project page is your main work area. You'll be spending the most time here, so get to know it. We're now going to open project number 7, the project page for this chapter. First of all, we can resize this page. If you have 2 monitors, make the project page fit the entire first window and put the mixer and all other windows on the second monitor. Remember this button here on the top left? We're going to click on it, opening the window layout, and choose to reveal the Event Info line. The Event Info line gives you information on the selected events on the project page. You can see the file name, the start, the end, the length, etc. Now we're going back to the Setup Window Layout button and reveal the Overview line. This shows you everything in the project. Remember in the previous chapter, New Project, we talked about the length of the project in the Project Setup dialog box found under the Project menu. It's important to set the length here so that the overview looks and works right for us. Let's see this a little lower. Setting it just past the end of your project will reduce all the empty space to the right of the overview. You can move back and forth between events by click dragging on the lower half of the window. You can also adjust the zoom in and out by adjusting the lower part of the window on each side. If you move your mouse to the upper part of the window, you can redraw your viewing selection and make a new one. You can zoom in or out vertically and horizontally by using these sliders, or plus and minus buttons here. If you want to zoom to your locators were discussed in the previous chapter, you can select it by pressing this button. Or zoom to see the entire project. Even make a few zoom presets by zooming into the desired position and selecting Add. Give your zoom preset a name and click OK. Now change zoom position and then choose the preset you've just created. To rename or delete zoom presets, you can choose Organize. You can even attach key commands to the first 5 zoom presets. You can also zoom in and out by clicking and holding on the ruler and then move your mouse up, down, to the left and right. If you've never done this before, it feels a little tricky, but don't give up. It becomes the best way to zoom once you master it. You can turn this on or off in the Preferences under Transport tab, Zoom while locating in timescale. By pressing this button here, you can zoom to the track heights to suit your taste. You can also turn snapping on or off for the track heights so that when you resize tracks, they snap and look a little neater. You can move this slider here so that the audio file appears larger in scale, making precise editing easier. This doesn't adjust any volume, it just makes it look bigger. One last thing about the window layout section, by revealing the status line, we can see the maximum recording time left on our hard drive here on the top left. To view a larger maximum recording time, we can choose Record Time Max from the Devices menu. Great if you are a few feet away from your computer while recording. Also displayed on the status line are the sample and bit rate under Record Format. We can also see the project frame rate and the stereo pan law for this project. The ruler can be switched by clicking on it to show bars and beats, seconds, timecode, samples, or a user frame rate. You can also just click this down arrow here. There is also time linear and bars and beats linear. If you have tempo changes in the tempo track, time linear will show the distance between the bars as being variable depending on the tempo. If you have bars and beats linear, then the distance between the bar lines will be equal. Time linear is good for people working with classical or jazz scores using retardandos and accelerandos. If you're doing rock or electronic music, you probably want to keep it on bars and beats linear. We'll go over this more in level 3 of the series in a chapter called Tempo Track. One more thing about the project page is that you can see whether the current project is the active one by looking here. Let's open another project and have them both open up at the same time. When I tile my projects horizontally, you can see both of them at the same time. I can click on either one, but only one of them will play when I press the spacebar on my computer keyboard. That's because this one is the active project represented by this highlight, and this one is not. Let's make this one the active project by clicking here. Now this project plays when I press the spacebar. And that's a quick tour of the project page.